It means so much for us to be able to share the legacy of my father and my uncle, which I know you're wondering why do we look so young, right? With my own son and my nephew. And these other wonderfully talented people up here today, and everyone who has spoken and is celebrating P-22. It is so imperative to keep a connection to nature, because in the end, that's the only thing left. We also want a heartfelt thank you to Beth Pratt, everyone else, the crew, the staff, everyone who made this possible today. And I want to leave you with this thought, that we are all here because of our lion.
Now try this one for me. Oh, sounds pretty good. What about this one? I've got one more for you.
special. It's hot up here. I will say, we just came out of all these rains, back to California sunshine. It's awesome. I have, again, the honor in this work of working with some pretty remarkable people that don't just work on wildlife, but also work on keeping our democracy safe and stable and doing great things. It's my honor to introduce one of those who does really big things in the world, yet still loves P-22. Please welcome Congressman Adam Schiff to the stage.
Thank you for inviting me to join you in celebrating the life of our beloved P-22. Thank you. I love you too. Like everyone here, I was heartbroken by the news of P-22's passing. P-22 was many things: our favorite celebrity neighbor, an occasional troublemaker, a beloved mascot for our city, but most of all, a magnificent and wild creature who reminded us that we are all part of a natural world so much greater than ourselves. He reminded us of the beauty and the importance of the wilderness around us. I had the distinct pleasure of being P-22's representative in Congress. One of my highest priorities has been to protect more of the public lands that P-22 called home. Since my first days in office, I've been working to add the Rim of the Valley corridor to the Santa Monica Mountains National Recreation Area and connect LA's incredible mountain lions and other wildlife to their natural habitat. That work will continue with P-22's spirit guiding us every step of the way. I have to tell you about my first effort to bring P-22 to the attention of the global audience. I was visiting Zimbabwe, and our hosts were proudly displaying the lions that populate their country and efforts they were making to protect against poachers. They asked me if I'd ever seen creatures so magnificent. And of course I said yes, in my district in Los Angeles. And of course, Steve Winter, they did not believe me. So I pulled out my phone and I showed them your magnificent photo of P-22 in front of the Hollywood sign, and this time, they still didn't believe me. No lion would pose for a photo like that. But I explained, it's Hollywood. That's what the cool cats do. There are many ways we must continue to channel P-22's legacy in our work as we fight for protected and expanded conservation areas, as we remember that combating the climate crisis isn't just about the health and longevity of humans, but that too of our four-footed friends. Yesterday, I took a first step along with my colleagues Ted Lieu and Julia Brownlee, and I think Julia is here. Julia, wonderful to see you, and I know Ted plans to be here as well. We took the first step of launching the process of creating a memorial postage stamp for P-22. We wrote to the Citizens Advisory Committee urging them to memorialize P-22 on a U.S. postal note. The committee says stamp submissions must represent something or someone with a significant impact on American history, culture, or the environment. That sounds an awful lot like P-22 to me. And the amazing thing is, P-22 did all that, and he didn't even know he was doing it. Now, this might be considered juicing the process with the Postal Commission, but I was briefed by my staff You don't have to be a member of Congress to make a submission. We can all write to the Citizens Stamp Advisory Committee to voice our support for a P-22 stamp. Hint, hint. I want to thank everyone present for what they have done to dedicate their time and resources to P-22's caretaking. Their efforts to bring awareness to his story and struggle are responsible for the tremendous progress that we have made to safeguard Southern California's spectacular beauty, and it's been an honor working alongside them. The sun may have set on the reign of the King of Griffith Park, but he will always be a prince of our hearts. P-22, thank you for gracing us with your presence, your pranks, and your magnificence over the years. You will be dearly missed and never forgotten. And one last thing I would like to say, I love my mom and dad too. Thank you. God bless P-22.
Well, I could almost give the next person I'm about to introduce is another person who does great things in the world and also represents us here in California. He has been someone who's been a champion for the wildlife crossing since the beginning, him and his team. And he's someone I greatly admire as well. Please welcome Congressman Ted Lieu.
Good afternoon. I recently came back from Washington, D.C., so let me just first start off by saying what a thrill it is to now stand in front of normal, caring, kind people. So I'm so honored to be here to celebrate with all of you the life of P-22. I know when each of us saw P-22, whether it was in a photo or a video, he captured our imagination. Not only in Los Angeles County, but throughout the world. And for P-22 to settle here in Griffith Park, he had to traverse the dangerous 405 freeway and the 101 freeway. Not all mountain lions make vehicle crossings safely. In fact, just last month, P-81 died in a vehicle fatality. In the last 11 months, 9 mountain lions have been killed in vehicle fatalities. In the last 2 decades, 34 mountain lions have been killed in vehicle fatalities. That's all going to start to change because of the life of P-22. I know when I was first approached by the idea of a wildlife crossing, the first image that popped into my mind was that of P-22. And I know he inspired many of us who are working to make this wildlife crossing turn from a crazy idea into a reality. And for the last 2 years, I fought for and tried to secure money, and I'm very pleased that recently we got $2.5 million that I requested. That money will go to construction costs for the Wallace-Annenberg Wildlife Crossing. That bill was supported by every Democratic member of the Southern California delegation, including Adam Schiff and Julia Brownlee. Because of redistricting, the wildlife crossing is now going to be in Julia Brownlee's district. She is going to be an amazing member of Congress and take great care of it. So let's give her a great big round of applause. And one of the best ways to honor the life of P-22 is to make sure that the lives of other mountain lions and wildlife will be saved. And I'm so pleased to now present a very big check to Lori Skay of MCRA and to Beth Pratt of the National Wildlife Federation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Congressman Lieu, to you and your team. Again, you've always been champions of this project and can't wait to be at the ribbon cutting with you. coming back to this themes of connections because these next two speakers are people I've met again through P-22. One was a sound effects editor by day who then turned into a camera trap who actually ended up finding a mountain lion in the Verdugos. The other is someone who never really was interested in wildlife before, but P-22 showed up in his backyard and he became his biggest advocate. Please welcome to the stage Johanna Turner of Cougar Magic and Michael McMahon.
Thank you, everybody. So P-22 was often called the Brad Pitt of mountain lions. And here in Hollywood, we sometimes see celebrities when we're out and about. That's always exciting. But what if Brad Pitt wandered through your backyard in the middle of the night sometimes every few weeks?
I'd call the police.
And you'd also maybe want to get that on camera. So that's how Michael felt when he realized he lived in P-22's territory. He set some trail cameras up in the small canyon behind his condo complex. And every single time P-22 walked by them was as exciting as the first. When we saw his tracks in the dirt along the trail, it was the coolest feeling just to be where P-22 had been. Although we've lost P-22, we all must keep that sense of wonder that made us love an animal we would never see or touch. We have been part of one of the greatest wildlife stories in history. All because we realize the most important thing we can do for another being is to let them be who and what they are. I'm proud and I'm grateful that you are all such great neighbors to this magnificent cat. Thank you, Los Angeles, and P-22 forever.
Hi, I'm Mike McMahon. I'm just a regular guy who happened to move into P-22's neighborhood 9 years ago. Since then, he's become an important part of my life. I became fascinated with the mountain lion next door and wanted to learn everything I could about him. Eventually, I bought a trail camera, then 3. And after 9 months, he finally walked past one. And I jumped up and down yelling, "I got P-22, I got P-22!" Then more cameras and more sightings. I've filmed P-22 87 times. I got to know his schedule and his route pretty well. He'd swing past my place every 2 to 3 weeks. I'd be asleep in bed, and that amazing cat would stroll on by less than 100 feet away from my head. P-22 inspired me and gave me hope. If he could thrive here, then so could I. Early mornings, I would sit out back behind my place with my cup of tea, gazing at his domain and wondering if he was close by. We were just 2 aging bachelors roaming the Hollywood Hills. Like every other Angelino, I proudly think of him as my lion. P-22 was a cougar who went on an unbelievable journey, thrived where no one thought he could, and in doing so, built a lasting community. Rest in peace, my friend. P-22 forever.
There was so much demand for this. Actually, the Greek couldn't get people in fast enough. So we started a little late, and as you can tell, we're running over. We're probably gonna go to about 2:30, so stretch, get some, but I guess nobody's bored, right? My next guest is an amazing artist that we partner with. He's from LA. His work captures to me the soul of animals. I am just honored to work with him, and he is doing murals for us across the region, in schools and other places. Please welcome Jonathan Martinez to talk about his art.
Hello everybody, my name is Jonathan Martinez. I'm originally from Mexico. I've been creating wildlife artwork for the past 12 years. For 29, 2020, I was reached out to from a member of the National Wildlife to create these murals of P-22 all over Los Angeles. And I had the incredible privilege, thanks to Beth and her team, that to be able to create these murals that showcase P-22 in his most majestic way. And for the future, I want to continue honoring him in these murals, and not only that, but also bring awareness to the different animals that are going to benefit from the wildlife crossing. So it's a huge privilege, and I'm really honored to Beth to be able to give me the opportunity to work with everybody. And yeah, I'm going to continue to keep painting P-22 and forever P-22. Thank you, guys.
The next speaker in 2016, well, even before that, wanted to make a movie about P-22 because he saw the change even then P-22 was enacting. He called it the cat that changed America. I think today it would have to be called the cat that changed the world. But please welcome filmmaker Tony Lee to the stage.
As a wildlife filmmaker and author of The Cat That Changed America, I know that there are very few animals that are remembered in history. Coco the gorilla, Shami the killer whale, Wojciech the bear, and Elsa the lioness are a few. P-22 mountain lion is one of them. He's been called many names: the Brad Pitt of cougars, the James Dean of Griffith Park, America's lion. I love Alan Strong Hunter, I'm going to advocate for that as well. But for me, he will always be the cat that changed America. His story has changed us to build a wildlife crossing, showed that we can live alongside top predators, and helped us understand the importance of connectivity, as well as the dangers of introducing rat poison into our environment. As an author and storyteller, my wish was that P-22 would have a happily ever after ending. I imagined that he would die of old age, peacefully in his beloved Griffith Park, where he lived for over 10 years. After all, as king of the mountain lions, he had beat us at our own game by living in the very heart of one of America's biggest cities and becoming infinitely relatable as he went about his daily commute while our cameras adored him. I think we can all agree he was one good-looking puma. But in the end, it was a car that contributed to his demise, and as a recent report shows, a major cause of mortality for mountain lions in California. But as a storyteller, I passionately believe we can control the narrative and write a better ending for P-22 and his brethren. Today it's Free Public Transport Day in Los Angeles. And we should have a shout out for Rosa Parks. I believe we can shun our reliance on cars. I've spent the last week whilst in LA just using the metro and public transport, and it's possible. But I'm from London and we use the metro all the time. P-22 will forever be a shining star in Hollywood, and his legacy will continue to change America. He has been a teacher to all of us. Nature does not belong to us, but we belong to nature, and with that comes our responsibility as its protector. Thank you, P-22, for making us realize that, and may your spirit rest peacefully forever in Griffith Park. Thank you.
He's the Neil Armstrong of his kind, and I think that's an apt description. He had to make a journey into the unknown. It was like going to the moon for him. I mean, for a lot of us, going to LA is like going to the moon. It's a strange place, yet he did it. That sense of adventure. He had to cross two of the busiest freeways in the country, the 101 and the 405, which frightened me just driving in a car. Can you imagine having to cross those on foot? He came within 2 miles of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So he's walking through some of the most dense urban areas in the country, and nobody saw him.
He's basically had this miraculous journey. That was the first start to his amazing story.
For male mountain lions, they mark their territory with scrapings on trees or things. He smells deer, but more importantly, there's no markings of another mountain lion. So I like to picture him scraping a tree forcefully and thinking, I'm home. This is my territory. Much like when Neil Armstrong put that first boot print on the moon. Just as significant a marking. It was one small step for cougar kind. I remember filming that. It was 100 degrees in Agora Hills, and we were outside. That was my introduction into how they make movies. Speaking of documentaries, it is my pleasure to also work with this incredible filmmaker, Aaliyah Jasmine of Lilo Media, who is our official documentarian for the Wildlife Crossing. She's been filming for years already, and of course we don't have that ribbon cutting until 2025, so she'll be filming many more. And she's got something to kind of tease you up with. So Aaliyah, come on up on stage.